Hello, my name's Becky Safe. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about phase cancellation and also some tips and tricks to avoid it or use it to your advantage. This was another video suggested by somebody in the comments section of the channel. So if you want to suggest a video, please feel free to drop a comment below and I will do my best to create the content that you want to see. Also, if you're new to the channel or if you're a regular here, then please consider hitting the like and subscribing to the channel as it helps me to make more content for you. And you'll be doing your bit to help this channel continue. As always, the timestamps are below in the description so that you can skip to your favorite section, but let's get into it. What is phase cancellation? Sound waves travel at a specific rate per second, and this is referred to as hertz, or you may also know it as frequency, and you'll have seen this on a spectral analyzer. From left to right, low to high, we're increasing the number of cycles per second, and therefore increasing the hertz from 20 hertz up to 20,000 hertz. So let's take a look at this in action using Serum. I'm going to play a low note, and then I'm going to play a high note, and we can visually see the difference in pitch and frequency and also number of cycles per second. Here is a low note, and you can see the number of cycles per second, and here is a higher pitched or higher hertz note. And we can see there visually that we're having an increased number of cycles per second. I'm going to record two versions of the exact same note and bounce them out to audio so we can visually see them in audio in Ableton. Now we have our audio waveforms. We can see here that they are exactly the same pitch, exactly the same number of cycles. They are identical copies of each other. We have peaks at the same time and we have troughs at the same time. And this is what we would call in phase. They are perfectly in phase with each other, and actually just sitting on top of each other is going to increase the volume. In this instance, I've inverted the phase, or to use the correct term, flipped the polarity. And now we can see that when this wave peaks, this wave is creating a trough. And when this one is in its trough, this one is in its peak. And this is going to cause phase cancellation. These two waves are going to cancel each other out. And the resulting sound is, well, no sound. You can see the meters moving in Ableton, but we can't hear any audio. This 180 degrees flip of one wave is going to cause destructive interference, and you don't want this in your project, especially when you're layering sounds, because if you layer sounds and they are out of phase, causing phase cancellation, you're going to end up with nothing, basically. No punch, no sound, no audio, and you don't want that. We're going to cover more of this throughout the video, including tips to avoid phase cancellation in your projects. But before we do that, if you're looking for more tips and tricks on music production, plus an insight into my crazy world, then check me out on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram. I am no longer on Twitter because Twitter is toxic. So toxic. So bad. I have trauma from Twitter and I refuse to go back on there. The first tip to fix your phase issues is to address them in the beginning. Like most things in music production, fixing the sound source at the very beginning stage is going to save you hours and hours of endless tweaking and adjusting in the processing and production stages. Here in Serum, I have two sine waves, oscillator A, oscillator B. If you bring the randomization down on the phase down to 0, these two waves are going to trigger from the same start point every time. So there's not going to be any random movement. Now we have full control of the phase knobs. Sorry. They are both presently at 180 degrees, and if we click on them, we can see that the line is showing you where this wave is going to start from. It's going to start from the very middle. If we move the phase control, we can see that we're moving the phase start position. And if we move the phase start position, we're now offsetting the phase position of these two waveforms. Thinking back to the phase cancellation, and when we're flipping the phase or inverting the polarity, we're now offsetting these two waveforms with each other. This is what they sound like when they're perfectly in phase. And now if we start to adjust one of them so that they move out of phase, we can hear the phase cancellation in action. When you're layering samples, you need to be cautious and careful that you aren't cancelling out your audio. If we look at the project, we have 2 kick samples, and you can see here that they're slightly, well, definitely they're causing phase cancellation. They are cancelling each other out. You need to be careful when layering low-end sounds as well, because it's, it's pretty obvious here that you have huge waves cancelling each other out, and if you want that punch and that oomph on your low end, then you don't want the silence which is clearly introduced by these 2 waveforms. One thing you could do is you could invert the polarity using Ableton's utility plugin. On the input here you have a flip left and flip right. If we freeze and flatten this track now, we can see that we have inverted the polarity, and now we have the positive and negatives in phase, or as close to in phase as we can get them. And now this sound is going to sound quite different. So you can use the flipping of the polarity to your advantage if you want to change how the sound sounds. If you're getting something out of this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and you will be notified every time I post a new video. Sticking with our layered samples, so I've deleted the utility plugin, and instead of adding utility and flipping the polarity, you could, in essence, just move the waveform so that it's a little bit more in phase, so manually doing it, and then you would just tidy up your waveforms, and then you have 2 samples that are slightly more in phase. And you can hear there, once again, we've changed the sonic character and quality of the output signal. Or you could do my preferred method, which is delete one of them altogether, because that's going to save space in your mix, in your project, and when it comes to the final mix down stage, you're not going to have a multitude of issues of sound waves competing for your attention or for space, or even cancelling each other out. Who wants that? There are many other ways in music production that you can address phase issues and also use them to your advantage. If you'd like to see any more content on this, then please let me know. And if you have any tips yourself that you use to address your phase issues, then drop a comment, share it with the community, and let us know what you do to avoid phase cancellation or even use it to your advantage. My name's Becky Safe. Thank you so much once again for checking out this video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Links to my courses, my socials, and all of the other stuff that I feel will help you on your music production journey are below in the description. And until then, I will see you for another video. Bye!